Scholarship Award Ceremony today. But I'd like everybody to stand for a minute, just give a little prayer before we start. Lord Jesus, I want to say thank you today for allowing us to be here at this moment. Everybody that traveled here, travel safe haven to and from. And we like that you allow them to have safe haven to and from when they leave here. That they, all the recipients and their families are here, Lord, today. Through your blessing and your grace that they receive these awards. Lord, we want to say thank you and truly give you true praise and glory and honor for all your praise and glory that you've given us. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. I want to start with saying again, you have to see it now, that today is a special day in more ways than one. The Pelham First League has been in existence for almost 30-something odd years. We basically started off as a basketball organization, but then we found out that the community needs us more with our students and our kids in the community. So we took that role on years ago, and it has taken off on its own, and this is where we are today. But first I want to speak about a young man who's not here with us today. That's our president, Mr. Corwin J. Breeden, who is a young man to the right of myself and Mr. Pratt on the board right here, who has succumbed to his injuries. He was 54 years old. He was a basketball player. He played basketball in our league. He became our commissioner. He also did a lot of things good for the community. He was a reserve in the Navy, and he had a lot of history behind him with business in Harlem, the Friends of Harlem, Harlem Hospital. He had a club in the Bronx called Elo's. He was a businessman, and he did a lot of things in the community. And we're going to miss Corwin greatly. But I just want to say that with Corwin gone, we got to carry on his legacy, because if he was here today, he'd be up here speaking, not me. So I'm trying to do the best I can by him not being here. But I want to thank everyone for coming here today. And right now I'm going to turn this mic over to Ms. Brittany Pratt.
Everybody hear me? Good afternoon and welcome to the PFBL Scholarship Fund Ceremony for the class of 2017. My name is Brittany Pratt and I was a 2008 scholarship recipient. I am a 2012 graduate from the Fashion Institute of Technology with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Graphic Design. Since then, I started working for a men's accessories company as a graphic designer for almost 4 years. It wasn't my dream job, but I stayed for as long as I could until my next job came along. I'm even more happy to say that I am now a freelance graphic designer for L'Oreal, working on their SkinCeuticals skincare brand. And to the class of 2017, your college experience is what you make of it. There will be plenty of all-nighters, but there will be fun in between, and I promise it's not all books and studying all the time. Make the next 4 years a fun experience, and as long as you work hard, you'll be one step closer to being successful adults. Thank you. And now we have our guest speaker, James Miles Clark. For his biography, Jason Miles Clark is the Deputy Attorney General for the New York State Attorney General Regional Office in Harlem. He serves a large constituency in Upper Manhattan and the Bronx by prosecuting violators of New York State's labor, consumer, and civil rights laws. He represents the hardworking people of the state of New York by bringing justice to a community with pressing needs for legal services. Prior to working for the Attorney General Office, Jason prepared draft opinions for United States District Judge George B. Daniels. Jason is very involved in community service. He is the president-elect of the Metropolitan Black Bar Association of New York City. He has organized programs aimed at reducing the number of deaths of unarmed civilians by law enforcement, protecting the rights of immigrants, and reforming New York's bail system. He is active in the Harlem community through his appointment to Community Board 10 in Manhattan, where he is the Public Safety Chair. Jason is working on launching a free tutoring program to help 7th grade students from underrepresented communities gain admission to NYC's specialized high schools. In 2015, Jason received the National Bar Association's 40 Under 40 and Excellence in Activism Awards. Jason holds a Juris Doctorate degree from the University of Michigan Law School, and he received his undergraduate degree from Princeton University. Now we're going to have our keynote speaker, Kennedy Faye Kerr, who is a 2016 scholarship graduate.
Sorry, I'm a little nervous. First and foremost, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Pratt and his foundation, along with Assemblywoman Inez Dickens, for this occasion and all that they do for the youth in this community. And secondly, let me give you guys a big congratulations for you guys as the recipients of this year's awards. Well, my name is Kennedy Kerr, and just 1 year ago I was sitting where you guys are right now, uncertain but excited for the future. And on August 30th, 2016, I stepped foot on Brown University's campus, not knowing what to expect, but I went in with an open mind and fell in love with the college atmosphere. Within the first few weeks, I found myself conversing with some of the most interesting people that I've ever met. By listening to their experiences, the thing that impacted me the most was how everyone seemed to have an increased sense of cultural awareness. They influenced me to adopt a new outlook on life, one where I myself work towards having an increased sense of cultural awareness. And because of this, I learned that it fosters a greater understanding of one another. Now, I'm not saying that everyone on a college campus will exhibit redeeming qualities. But what I am saying is that you need to just find your group, find your niche, because there is one for everyone, even if it does not seem immediately apparent. For me, I was fortunate enough to have built a family on the track team. For a lot of the school year, the people on the track team who I hung out with were who I hung out with. And through them, I met a lot of other people that I never would have met otherwise. And although I did have my teammates, I was sure not to close myself off to other people. One person that comes to mind is my roommate, Samantha, who I met while moving in the dorms. And even though she is 2 years older than me, we clicked immediately. And we bonded over mutual interest. Now, she wasn't a part of the track team, but we still found something in common. And we did things together. She sometimes went to the events that I did with my track team, and I accompanied her to her club meetings. So I encourage you to try new things that you've never experienced, and don't close yourself off from new things, because you might just find that you actually enjoy them. College is about getting out of your comfort zone and meeting new people. So don't be afraid to accept that invitation to have lunch in the dining hall with someone you never would have interacted with, because that may be the beginning of a lifelong friendship. You just have to embrace all that comes to you and take advantage of the opportunities that you've been given. You have all demonstrated that you are very capable. Otherwise, you wouldn't be where you are today. So use that as your motivation. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. The next phase of your life will be challenging, as well as demanding. I learned that myself firsthand when I had to wake up to go to 8 a.m. track practice, and then classes for 4 hours straight, and then weightlifting practice afterwards. Track meets that would be on Saturday, and we wouldn't get back till that Sunday, with exams and papers due just the day afterwards. However, I know that that kept me disciplined, and it taught me that to get what you want in life, you have to show fortitude and resilience, because those are the qualities that will get you ahead in life. The work that you will have to do will ask a lot of you, and it may seem overwhelming at times. So I just urge you to push through it and believe in yourself that you can do it. I also want to share with you some of the resources that I think were not as present in high school as they are in college. Those are the mental and emotional health wellness centers that are available to you while on campus, because college life is difficult. And like I said before, it will ask a lot of you. So I just want to remind you that there are support networks with people who can talk to you and can help you with the difficulties that you face. Just take care of yourself, because your well-being is just as important as that final exam grade. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this, is to remember that you are going to be entering a melting pot of people with different backgrounds, different cultures, different ideologies. So I want you to be mindful of those differences. Be open to those differences. And if you can't be accepting of those differences, at least be respectful of them. And with that, I wish all the recipients good luck, and thank you.
Now we have our guest speaker, Mr. James Miles Clark.
Great. Well, hello, everyone. So first, let me apologize for being a little late. I actually just got in from Ontario. We are having a conference with the National Bar Association where we're trying to talk about different criminal justice issues. But I wanted to make sure that I definitely made it here. And of course, it was great hearing from Brittany about her track experiences, because it sounds a lot like my track experiences, but I imagine she was probably a lot faster. So first, I would just like to say thank you very much to PFBL for inviting me out here to Melvin, to Charlene especially. You know, and I've heard, I guess, I've done a little bit of research about some of the other speakers, and it's just an honor to be here to just talk with each one of you. And it's also great to see the terrific work that PFBL is doing. A lot of people talk about trying to do what they can to help others and to make sure that the future generation has a future. But you don't always see people who put their money where their mouth is. And seeing all of you today and knowing that you're all getting scholarships and that you're moving forward in college, it's just a great example for all of us, including me. So what I was told is to say a few words about myself. And you know, I could certainly do that, but I was trying to think of how, you know, really be most effective and try to leave you with something that I thought would be helpful for all of you. And when I started thinking about myself when I was your age, which now that I'm saying things like when I was your age, I'm obviously at a different age. The thing I really think about the most is, you know, trying to figure out what my purpose was, what my purpose is. And I know that when I was young, I had no idea. I knew that, you know, I like basketball. I knew the words to all my favorite rap songs. But, you know, there are things that I felt good about, but nothing that I think really made me feel like that there was something there, that there was a pathway for me. And what made that even tougher in some ways is that, you know, I look back at my father, and I felt like he came out with purpose. He came from a small town in Florida called Palmetto, where there are 6,000 people. He would wake up in the morning every day and pick strawberries just to raise money for his family. It was him, it was his 4 sisters, he was the youngest. And there are all the trappings that you'd see in many small communities where he had friends, for example, who became victims of drugs. And regardless of all those issues, he found a way to make it. He, in fact, not only did he make it, he ended up graduating second in his class in high school, going off to Harvard, then Harvard Medical School, then becoming a cardiologist, and then becoming the first minority chief of cardiovascular cardiology at a non-HBCU in the entire United States. And what I remember most is being in first grade and my mother telling me that every generation is no better than the last. But when I was trying to think of who I was, and I remember asking my father about, how he did all of this and how he got to where he was, and why he decided to even be a cardiologist. And I promise I'll bring this back to myself. But what he had said is that the reason he wanted to do that is because heart disease and high blood pressure is the #1 killer of African Americans. And he felt passionately that there was something that he needed to do to try to move the ball forward in some type of way. And he felt that given his interest and his skills, that would be the best thing. So for me, even with especially hearing that, I hadn't found what it was that would make me feel that same type of way. Until it was actually my senior year in high school, when there was an individual who ended up getting shot about 20 minutes away from my high school. I went to school in the Bronx. The individual was a couple of years older than me, certainly could have looked like me. And he was shot 41 times by 4 police officers, or plainclothes police officers, so they weren't even in their uniforms. Did not have a weapon, was pulling for his wallet, and feel like that was appropriate. Now, how many of you have heard the name Amadou Diallo? Okay, so I see a couple of hands. So that was the individual, and that was my senior year in high school. And when that happens, I just remember thinking like, well, I mean, that's horrible, but obviously he's going to, obviously there's probably injustice, he's going to go to jail. Or rather, the officers, the individuals responsible are going to have to pay for their crimes. But then, a few months later, we find out that the trial wasn't going to be in the Bronx, even though the shooting happened in the Bronx, even though the individual who was shot, even though all the parties were here, was going to be in Albany. And then later on, you find out that all 4 officers ended up being acquitted. And I just remember feeling for the first time that, you hear about, the lack of, or rather the lack of justice in our system, but when you start having specific instances or things that you've heard about or seen, or you're aware of as they were progressing, you start to look at it a little differently. And I just remember thinking that we ended up having the district attorney who came to our office, or came to our school and started talking about it. We talked about all the legal reasoning why this happened. And you're just a high school student, I mean, what do you know? I mean, it sounds, certainly right. But I just remember feeling like what I heard didn't sound like justice. And if you want to be someone who's, certainly, could talk about it and say that these are bad things, and could have, you could talk with your friends and, just shake your head, or you could try to put yourself in a position where you could try to do something about that. I don't want to spend too much time because I know we have a lot of folks here, but there were 3 things that I had written down that I just wanted to bring up. So, when we're trying to think of what it is we can do to try to find what our purpose is, and, I have, knowing a little bit about your bios and speaking to a couple folks about who you are, I have all the confidence in the world. But I figure there's no person that I could think of that would be better to give an example of how to best use this time to find your purpose than Dr. Martin Luther King. And in 1967, in fact, just 6 months before he was assassinated, he spoke to a group very similar to this in Philadelphia. A group of students, and he gave this speech called What is Your Blueprint? And there are 3 main tenets that he identified during that speech. The first was, need to have a deep belief in your own dignity. So what does that mean? That means knowing that regardless of what happens, you're going to have experiences, some good, some bad. You want to make sure that you remember who you are. We all have time. I mean, that's a good thing to say, and we all know that. But it's really in those trying times when someone questions us, or we feel less than, or we feel like we haven't done, we haven't acted in the best of our own abilities, that at that point, we really need to know that. We need to remember that. And one of the things, of course, that Dr. King said during that speech with that tenant is you also have to remember, especially when you're thinking about who you are and your race, that Black is beautiful. A lot of people won't just say something, that it isn't beautiful, but they will sometimes make it known within their remarks or the ways that they speak about you. And you need to remember for yourself, not for others, that you have a certain dignity and that you have a certain confidence, and that will help you move forward. The second thing he said is you need to have the determination to achieve excellence. And what that means is, there will be doors that will open up to you, and there will be great challenges being ready for you behind these doors. And what that means is, yes, you need to have that dignity, you need to have that confidence. Just gotta put that work in. So sometimes, when you want to be able to maybe go to that extra party, maybe I'll tell you, just try to negotiate yourself. I'm gonna put in another half an hour. And when you get to half an hour, you're still with it, another half an hour. And you got to remember that this is your opportunity to shine. This is your opportunity to let yourself learn about all the different choices or all the different opportunities out there. Because you may find yourself, realizing that you really love archaeology and that your destiny is to be Indiana Jones. You might find that your destiny, that you love art and how it speaks to you, and you may be the next, Toni Morrison or the next, Pablo Picasso or who have you. So, but you won't find that, or you will be cheating yourself if you actually don't take the time. The third thing he says is that you need to have a commitment to the eternal principles of beauty, love, and justice. So that one's a little bit more amorphous, but I wrote down a few other things that he said after that to give it a little bit more of an explanation. He says, never let anyone pull you so low as to hate them. Never let anyone let you lose your self-respect. However young you are, you have an obligation to make the world around you a better place for everybody. And to me, how I've always interpreted that is what it says is that you have to remember what's right. And you have to remember that it's your life, but you didn't make it here yourself. None of us has made it here yourself. We're specifically here because you're getting a scholarship. So that in a sense, that's the most easy way to be able to show that we've all made it here because we've all invested in one another. And the only thing that I would say that I would imagine anyone is really asking for them is that you use that time to become the best you can be. And no one knows what that is but yourself. So if you do those things, if you make sure that you preserve and you know your dignity, that you have a commitment to excellence, and that you do what's right, I have no doubt that each one of you will find your confidence, or find your purpose. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing all of you.
All right, moving along, getting to the fun part, which is the award presentation. When I call your name, you can come up and receive your award. So first we have Mazabin Afsari, who's graduated from Queens High School of Teaching and going to CUNY Brooklyn College. Not here. Moving right along, we have Zanab Ba, who graduated from Frederick Douglass Academy 1 and going to St. John Fisher College. Next, we have, she told me how to pronounce her name, but I forgot. So, DJ Jean Lewis, who graduated from Queens High School of Teaching and going to CUNY School of Medicine. Next, we have Susan Gutierrez, who graduated from Mott Haven Village Preparatory High School and going to Mercy College. And then next we have Farahana Apia, who graduated from Frederick Douglass Academy 1 and going to Trinity College. Next, we have Carnell Eric White, who graduated from All Hallows High School and going to Hampton University. Next, we have Shirai Eastler, who graduated from Knowledge and Power Preparatory Academy, going to Howard University. Then next, we have our keynote speaker, Kennedy Faye Kerr, who graduated from Long Island Lutheran Middle and High School and continuing her education at Brown University. Next, we have Fatumata Saul, who graduated from Frederick Douglass Academy 1, going to Boston College. Next, we have Jonathan Tavizin, who graduated from Frederick Douglass Academy 2, going to CUNY Hunter College. Next, we have Kate Apia, who graduated from Frederick Douglass Academy 1, going to Babson College. Next, we have Nathan Cummings, who graduated from Frederick Douglass Academy 2, going to Lehman College. And next, we have Laquan Garvey, who graduated from Frederick Douglass Academy 2, going to Binghamton University. Next, we have Victoria Pinnell, who graduated from the Democracy Prep Charter High School, going to Duke University.
Could not be here today. She's away on a trip, but she just like to thank the organization and everybody responsible for the scholarship.
Next, we have Avery Parker, who graduated from Ralph R. McKee Career and Technical High School, going to Jamestown Community College. Next, if I pronounce your name wrong, I'm sorry. The next one we have is Josue Valarezo, who graduated from Mott Haven Village Preparatory High School, going to St. John's High School. And last but not least, we have Keon Hanley, who graduated from Frederick Douglass Academy 1, going to Purchase College. Unfortunately, Mr. Gerald McDowell isn't here at the moment, so now we're going to have a moment to bless the food and eat.
Okay. Lord, we want to say thank you for the nourishment that we're about to receive today, that will nourish our minds and our bodies to bless this food, so we can nourish our minds and our bodies to keep us going forward, Lord. Thank you, Jesus, for all your blessing, all your favor, Lord, in carrying us today and each and every day. Allow us to praise your name. Amen. Now everybody can line up. Then